So obviously if we're in the gym, our goal is to train as optimally as possible. But a lot of people don't realize that things that sound optimal on paper are not actually optimal. And there are certain situations where you might need to pull back or change your training to modify it and make it more conducive to a client or particular goal. Because if you train set in stone where everything's got to be 4 to 6 rep range, you got to control the eccentric for a certain amount of time and this and that and this and that, what ends up happening very often is you end up causing injuries, you end up not being particularly productive because what you thought was the optimal thing in context is actually not going to be particularly useful. So there are certain situations, for me at least, where I decide not to train optimally. And I'll tell you guys a few different ones in the video here so that you guys, when you train, can make these individual distinctions yourself and actually train more productively. So a very obvious one that I'll tell you guys about that you guys can see me do here right now is actually rep ranges. So certain times I will raise the rep range I'm working in order to better accommodate joint stress or a particular client's need or stability. There are a lot of different reasons where you might actually want to change what rep range you're in. So right now on this tricep extension, I'm feeling like going heavy. I'm warming up here, it feels really good. My right side I just did for 4 really nice reps. So I feel like going pretty heavy. Now, I'm gonna do this most likely for 4 reps. Now, there are certain scenarios, and sometimes I will, watch the footage back and be like, wait a minute, man, like my form didn't look that great. What was wrong with my form? Why didn't I change it to make it more, full range of motion, a little better, a little bit more, precise or whatever. And I'll go, wait a minute, let me pull the weight back a little bit, focus on form. This was something that when I was training with TNF at Alpha Land in Texas, people were talking to me about, and he was talking about with my trap form. So when I actually do rows, like trap biased rows, an issue I had was actually rowing back. I'd row back like this and I'd lurch my neck up. I'd kind of row back and lurch up. And I told TNF, I'm like, hey, you know what? I never even really looked at this that deep. I don't even know why I really do this. And he's like, well, let's pull the weight back a little bit and see if you can work on your form. So I did that and it was very, very useful. So doing that sometimes is important. And again, when you are training yourself, you're not nearly as introspective with what you're doing as a coach or someone else might be. So if you're training by yourself, it's important to take a video and to look at it, even if you're another coach, because sometimes you don't realize little mistakes you make. And you really sometimes do need someone else to kind of tell you that. So with that said, let's do one set here. I'm probably gonna go for 4 reps. And if I look back and I say, hey, I don't like this too much, or I didn't get the range of motion I wanted, I'll lighten the rep range. Simple as that. I'm probably gonna do that anyway. For my second set, I'll probably do a back off set at a higher rep range. I'll probably do 7 to 9 for my back off set. So it really just depends, So here we go. We're gonna go for 4, but if I don't like it, won't do it again. Here we go. Okay, that was pretty nice. I wouldn't say I'll keep this weight the same because I'd probably get 2 or 3 reps on my next set. So I'm gonna lighten it to 35. If I get 6 or 7 or 8, who cares? All right, so another thing I might do that's not particularly optimal in the gym but does work for me very well is doing the same upper day or maybe the same full body day. Now, I'm not telling you this is better. I'm not recommending this, but what I've been doing recently is the same upper day. I've been doing my 2 sets of triceps first, got to bring them up, triceps are my weakest body part, and then doing like 1 set of wide grip row and then 2 sets of Kelso shrugs on this machine, or 2 sets of wide grip row and 1 set of Kelso shrugs. Really doesn't matter. I just kind of do it intuitively based on how I'm feeling. But notice, like, if you guys think about what an actual optimal program per se looks like, it really is just doing stimulating volume for body parts that are important to you. So if I'm able to get that stimulating volume in, I'm not particularly worried about, I need an upper B and an upper C and an upper D and whatever else. I would say maybe the sweet spot is like 3 upper body days where you're able to bias 3 different things. That might be like the sweet spot, but once again, for me, because I just have these very clear weak points, it's important to me that I'm able to bring them up. And just by sequencing them the way I have been, it seems to be working. It doesn't look like I need to really do any changes because no matter what I do, a good tricep crossbody extension is pretty much on the menu. That's kind of the priority. And then, having some kind of wide grip rowing to bring up my trap is also on the menu. That's also a priority for me. So you guys will notice that when I'm here on this machine right now, this is coming pretty much at the beginning of every session I do. So just finishing our warm-ups. Very smooth. This machine's very smooth at this gym. It feels nice. I like this a hell of a lot. And it's bolted down so I can mess around with this pad. This is nice. So 150, that was close. let's try 190. That looks to be about in the ballpark for this Nautilus machine here. So we're gonna do this machine here at 190 and see how it's looking and how we're feeling and all that. So I'll probably do one angle from here, and I might do a different angle from the back. But yeah, guys, I've been really trying to level up the content recently. I've been putting a lot of time in. I really hope you guys are enjoying it. So please do comment suggestions and things you want to see done differently and all that kind of stuff. Anyways, 190, here we go. Six, pretty damn close. I'll take it. I'm sure I could watch it back after and be like, oh, form wasn't great, whatever. But pretty damn close. Like I said, the scoliosis in my upper back makes it a little hard to actually fully kind of retract my scapula and kind of have an understanding of actually like where I am in space, or proprioception is the term. So that's kind of a good thing to work on. So hope you guys enjoyed that. So another thing I might do that's not training super optimally is skipping certain muscles, or at least not putting priority on other ones. So calves, just not super important to me. So I don't train calves all the time. There are certain times I'll be like, you know what, I'm gonna go home, or I'm gonna put love into like neck training or some other body part that's more important to me. So calves don't always make the cut. Forearms, based on some beliefs that forearms are largely genetic. Yeah, my forearms aren't great. I don't know how much better they can get. They do get a decent stimulus from your bicep work. So am I really gonna sweat my forearm training? Probably not. So those are just a few scenarios for me, at least, where, you know what, is it great that I'm doing this sometimes? No, but it happens, and it is just kind of a part of the process. You know, you're not gonna always hit 100% of the time, as long as you hit most of the time. That's the way I kind of see it. So we're gonna do some incline chest pressing here on the shoulder press machine. For those who don't know, this is an incredible way to get your whole upper chest sort of hit. So remember, the responsibility of the upper chest is largely shoulder flexion. So the upper chest is gonna be completing a lot of the aspects of this movement that are sort of like here, that are flexing the shoulder, that are just taking the shoulder and flexing it upwards. So if we were to look here, I'm gonna try to configure my seat and kind of get set up in a way where it is comfortable for me, and just focus on actually flexing the chest. We wanna get as much tension as we can. It's a little sticky, this machine, which I don't like, but I think we'll live. I think we'll live. Okay, pretty good. Come up one more. One more. All right, that's not bad. See this on 8. Switch a little forward, got the full stack here on the Nautilus here. And let's see it. Let's see how we do. Okay. Try to get as much upper chest here reasonably as I can. Minimal arch. Here we go. Okay, all right. That was about 4 with pretty good controlled form. I'll take it. You know, try not to lock out obviously at the top, because that would switch a lot of the tension onto the triceps. My hand almost got so yellow it almost fell off from blood flow restriction. So good stuff.